processing of data, and one of it is, and I'm glad you brought up that issue, because we've noticed in our office, most of the most common concerns are on image, and we have actually the biggest penalties we've given is on image use. It becomes an issue when
Thank you very much, President of the Law Society of Kenya. It is a pleasure to present a book to peers, and thank you, and feel that it is useful and would be worth having on one's office table somewhere in the shelves. The words that Faith read are by the very, very kind Mr. Justice Odunga, who has kindly written the introduction to the book. Again, Justice Odunga is an example to us, a great, great scholar whose index, or the digest, not the index, the digest to our books says for Mwalimu, where's he gone, Okoya, that documentation is on, and we hope getting on. And similarly to say to Waziri, thank you for the history, legal history. It is so much a part of the absence of what has been done and passed on that I'm delighted that you did that. Always remember that the opposition to repression, to the absence of rule of law, is memory. And it is the memory of the steps we have taken to make sure that all power, we must remember that all power expands at the rate, at the cost of good rule of law, and most important, of the good life of people. Again, Waziri, you were quite right. There's a bit of envy that East Africa looks at with Tanzania. And the reason is that Tanzania is now and has always been the conscience of East Africa. May I have applause for that? Applause to acknowledge that that sacrifice is a part of our acknowledgement that we are the beneficiaries of that. Not only in the sense, or not only in the example that Waziri gave of Mwai Kibaki. And it was at a time when KANU became the next dominant factor in Kenyan politics, Kenyan life, from 1963 onwards, till 2002. But what Mwalimu did for Mwai Kibaki was in 1961, 60 actually, when he called in and he came from Makerere to a small office in Mungafano Street in Nairobi. Difficult to find, it's now Ronald Ngala Street and off there. And it was there was no knowing what that force would be. And it was followed 2-3 years later by the May 1963 general election, where KANU swept the polls and brought into being the true control by Kenyans of Kenya. And so again, a thank you to Tanzania And yes, Nyerere's legacy lives on in a good way, whereas the legacy of many others, or prominent at that time, lives on in a not so favorable way. I say thank you again to Faith. It truly is an honor. You have been doing things now for us in that same tradition. And we said it yesterday and we'll say it today. From all of us, on behalf of all of us, thank you again, and thank you for launching my book. Thank you.